gets called right inside, so he does not stay square. So that's a good play to run against Fuller.
3 times they've thrown to Morton. 3 times he's caught the ball. Barry Sanders on 1st and 10, running hard and running free to the 41-yard line. A pickup of 6. Dixon Edwards makes the tackle.
Watch Scott Mitchell have to run as fast and as hard as he can to get the ball all the way to Barry. I don't see any other quarterback in the National Football League have to run that hard and stretch the ball out. And that may tell you a little bit about Barry's explosion.
Or the slowness of Mitchell.
Or a combination thereof. I've never seen a quarterback have to run as hard as he does to get the ball to handoffs. There he goes again. Look at that.
2nd down. Great block by Vardell. 3 to go. But that block cannot be capitalized on, and Sanders only picks up a couple. He'll be close to a 1st down. It'll be 3rd and inches.
Watch Scott Mitchell. He's going to go to his left. And watch how he has to run to try to get that ball to meet at that angle. And he barely gets it there. Great block by Tommy Vardell. Tommy Vardell is probably the least publicized excellent blocking fullback in the league. People forget what a good blocker he is because Barry Sanders is so good running the ball.
Especially to the right. 3rd and inches. 3 tight ends. Mitchell, who's as big as a tight end himself, pushes the pile. Gets a 1st down out to the 46-yard line.
He did. Looks like he made it from here, but he didn't explode through on that sneak. So, you know, the Vikings had a good push. It is a 1st down.
Jerry, with all the success the Vikings have had this year, this 4-game losing skid has again put a lot of pressure, a lot of controversy surrounding the Viking coach, Dennis Green.
I think he sort of doesn't worry about controversy. I think he sort of sometimes stirs it up himself.
It is 1st and 10 outside the 45 for the Detroit Lions, trailing 13-7. Play action by Mitchell, read beautifully by Randall, and down goes Mitchell. The 1st sack of Mitchell today, who remains down and injured at the 29.
And John Randall, he goes a spell without a sack. You know you're going to get in trouble. He hasn't had sacks
in 4 games.
That's a long time. So what they did to Randall, guess what? They moved him to right end instead of tackle. And so what he'd been shut out. You're easier to double team at tackle than you are at end. So they moved him to end today, and he gets the big sack.
Put Randall's name with White, Smith, and Taylor. That's a pretty good foursome. 2nd down and 20. Sanders in the backfield. Sanders gets the draw. And room to roam for Barry Sanders. And there he goes. A foot race with Fuller. And from behind, Fuller's got him. But he can't bring him down until he gets to the 5. Incredible run by Barry Sanders. 60 yards, 1st and goal Lions.
Wow. That's why you can't let the Lions hang around. We're saying everything the Lions haven't done. They're not good at this or that. And here's a little draw. A great block by Tommy Boyd from the outside. And there goes the master of the football game. Corey Fuller spent a long time trying to. There's the block by Boyd. Good block by Boyd to break him out for Robert Griffin. But Corey Fuller spent a lot of time trying to strip the ball instead of making the tackle.
The holdup, as you see at the top of your screen, the chain gang did not get the markers down the sideline. Looks like they're gasping for air, like Sanders, who's right at 100 yards or just a yard now below. 99 yards on the day.
I'd feel safe to say there's nobody in the chain gang as fast as Barry.
No, I would agree. 1st and goal from the 5. And the handoff, Ron Rivers, Sanders backup. He's brought down in a loss of 2 back to the 7-yard line. Ed McDaniel makes the stop. He's taking the place of the injured starting middle linebacker, Jeff Brady.
And again, a nice play by Robert Griffin, the strong safety for the Vikings. Will have to take on what's called the kickout block, and he'll have to turn it in. And there's Tommy Vardell, and he does turn it in. He turns it right on in to Ed McDaniel, playing the middle linebacker spot today because Brady's out with an injury.
2nd down and goal, 8th play of the drive. Mitchell gets a block from Roberts, moves in, running himself, and the dive takes him to the 1. Dwayne Rudd made the tackle. Sanders will be sent back in. It'll be 3rd down, goal to go from the 1 with the Lions trying to tie it and then take the lead.
Good pressure on Scott Mitchell. Watch Randall come from the left of your screen. B93 will be coming here. He's playing that right end today, and he's chasing him. Mitchell almost gets it in.
Sanders and Vardell in the backfield. It's 3rd and goal from the 1. Mitchell to the end zone. Caught, bobbled, dropped. Johnny Morton right through his hands.
Well, I'm shocked. You got 3rd and 1. The back you have in the ball put the ball down there, and he never touched the ball after his long run. And this is thrown, but when you have a pass, you have to throw it, you have to catch it. That should be a touchdown. Terrible play by Johnny. Detroit going for it on 4th down.
Do you like it?
Yeah, you got to do it. But I think I'd hand it off to the guy that took it down there.
On the 1, 4th and goal. Here it goes. Sanders cuts. He does not get in. Goal line stand by the Minnesota Vikings.
What a great job. He was not tackled by one person. The formation told you where. This is called a strong eye. They got a split in here. You can only run it to the tight end backside. So all the Vikings slanted that way. The formation told the defense, we can only come this way. Here we come. The defense is waiting on them.
If you're a Lion fan, it doesn't get any more disappointing than this. If you're the Vikings, you rejoice because your defense is held. So a 60-yard run by Sanders goes for naught on downs. The Vikings get it 1st and 10 from their own 3. Cunningham in the end zone sets. He goes right to work and throws to Robert Smith. He's out to the 7, so they try to give the Vikings some breathing space. Stephen Boyd, the middle linebacker, makes the tackle. Gain of 4.
A little dump off. Boyd dropped down in the zone and then attacked the play. And Boyd's been kind of quiet. A guy that we really like the way he plays. Excellent middle linebacker all year for Detroit. But everybody on Detroit defense been a little quiet today.
Boyd is registered 8 tackles so far. 2nd down and 6. Cunningham to the sideline, and the pass is caught. That's Jake Reed. Gain of 10 yards, and that should be, and it is, a Viking 1st down. That is his 2nd reception today.
Well, Westbrook was off, and then he dropped off, and that turned to a quick out. He was up, I mean. When he's up in the full press, they won't throw this. So the Vikings, that's a reaction after Westbrook ran off before the ball was snapped.
Cunningham almost has more yards rushing than he does passing today by himself. 1st down and 10. Robert Smith got a nice block from Stringer that kept him alive, and you can only gain 2 yards on the play. Probably would have lost a couple more had Stringer not bulldozed some people on the side. Tackle again by Stephen Boyd, his 9th tackle.
And that looked more like the Detroit defense you're probably used to watching. Pursuing, chasing. One reason you don't see the great pursuit probably today is the Vikings offensive line is so huge. You're talking about Corey Stringer. You know, he's 375 pounds. Dixon's 360. Randall McDaniel, Todd Stussy, all these people have enormous size, and they cut your pursuit off.
2nd down and 8. Robert Smith picks up a yard, maybe a yard. Mike Wells makes the stop. You know who's been quiet today on the Viking offense has been wide receiver Chris Carter, the 4th ranked wide receiver in the NFL.
Well, we're in the training room on Saturday, and they were treating his hand. His fingers won't work. He's got 2 fingers now, and they had his hand dipped in a real hot wax solution, trying to bring blood to 2 of the fingers in his hand. And I said, can you catch it? He said, I can catch it with 1 finger. That's all I got.
And he has.
Yeah.
That's the ridiculous thing he has. 3rd and 7.
Blitz.
And he throws it away.
I'd get on that ball.
I was going to say, it looked like it almost went backwards, but they had 1 referee in the backfield, another official here on the sideline.
I'm disappointed the Lions there didn't chase and jump on that ball and make the official make that call. Scroggins looks like he got a little bit hurt on that. But again, here's the blitz. They're finally waking up. They're going to blitz off this side. And the blitz freed up to Scroggins. And Scroggins hurt himself on that sack. But that's the way you stop Randall scrambling. And that's the way you stop Robert Smith's run.
Side judge.
Wow, what a punt.
Spikesman had a very good view on that. Mitch Berger gets off a rocket. Glenn Milburn from the 20-yard line for the Detroit Lions, being chased. Reverses field. Still on his feet. And he ran about...
That took a quarter.
50 yards, but he gained 7. Dwayne Butler ushered him out of bounds. That was a 62-yard punt by Berger.
Just supposed to punt the ball. I'm not supposed to make the tackle on this thing.
From the 25, 1st and 10 for Mitchell. Outside he goes. Caught by Tommy Vardell. He's got the first down. About 10.5 on the catch. It's the 14th reception this year by Vardell. Tackle made by 59 Dixon Edwards.
So Vardell ran a diagonal, which means a shoot to the flat. And Dixon Edwards, he's going to run a shoot with a slant. And Dixon Edwards puts a good pad under pad hit. That's the first time Tommy didn't get lower than the tackler. When that happens, you get your head knocked around. Audible here by Mitchell.
On the 36, first down and 10 yards to go. Mitchell going to his second option, getting some blocking, being chased, and throws, and it is caught. Spectacular catch, 39-yard line. Vardell. That's a 25-yard pickup by a scrambling quarterback Mitchell to a fullback who makes a diving reception.
Well, Mitchell got in trouble here, had no idea where he was going to go with it, but a good throw and a nice catch laid out, and Ed McDaniel puts the hands on him.
Vardell was beaten out in training camp, then began to start, and now he and Schlesinger are back and forth.
If you watch Vardell block, he's still one of the best blocking fullbacks in football. Look at that one.
Barry Sanders, there goes a flag. It's thrown right into the mix at the 39.
Holding on Detroit. He threw it right at the centers and the guards inside the official.
Holding by the offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Second year, first-round pick out of Penn State, Jeff Hardings. That Glover can block like a rascal. That center 53, he has had a great day blocking.
Oh, he did tackle him. He tackled him his outside number. Good call by the official. He reached right in and pulled the jersey off of the Jerry Ball. Pulled on the 6 of Jerry. He should have stuck to the 9. The 6 was all the way across his chest.
Emily pushes it back. First down and 20 from the Viking 49. Still down the Lions just by 6 points.
Oh, he's open.
Going deep. That time it's caught by Johnny Morton. He may have dropped the touchdown pass in the last possession, but that time Mitchell, who throws into double coverage, hits his wide receiver for a gain of 32 yards.
Excellent protection, but a double move. Watch John. Now, Johnny's the same guy. Look at, he fakes the inside, back outside, has Dwayne Washington beat right now. That's the same guy that dropped the easy throw to go ahead in the ballgame. That's why you can't get mad when your good player makes an error. Come on back and feed him the football.
On the 17, 1st and 10 for Mitchell. Good time. And he throws into the flat. There goes a flag. Hardings, the right guard, was out in the flat. Sanders was just beyond and a little in back of Hardings, and I think that's obviously out of the corner of the eye. Mitchell spotted.
They're deciding whether it's illegal receiver, illegal touch. Illegal touch, number 64. He was going out to make a block on the screen and had no idea the ball was going to hit him in the back of the head.
If I had John Randall breathing down my back, I'd throw to my lineman too.
The pass hit an ineligible receiver of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Follows by number 64. Repeat first down.
So a couple of penalties in a row against the Detroit Lion offense after a big 32-yard completion to Johnny Morton.
Well, Detroit has had all kinds of problems, made all kinds of mistakes. But the good news, you keep hanging around in the football game, something can happen with all the talent that they have on offense.
Hez McCorvey is at the top of your screen. Moore at the bottom. 1st and 15. Sanders to the 20. Picks up 2 right now. McDonald's game break. Back to Hollywood. Here's James Brown.
Kevin and Jerry, Jets knew that a loss and they would be out of the playoff picture, playing with a sense of desperation. Agent Morrell, 2nd consecutive season with 1,000 yards or more, all over Tampa Bay, 31-0. Back to Kevin Harlan and Jerry Glanville.
That one shocks me.
Jets next week play the Lions. So they look like they're in tune. Sanders at 100 yards today. 2nd down and 13. On the 20. Short drop by Mitchell and a drop pass by Moore. The second drop ball in this quarter by the Lions receivers. Corey Fuller was covered. There may be an excuse for him.
Well, and you saw what he did. He pointed at his chest and said, "My fault." And that's the way Herman Moore is. He's a guy who never dodges an issue. And when he walked back to huddle, he pointed right at Scott Mitchell and said, "My fault. Should have had it." Took his eyes off it just a bit too soon.
A lot of receivers catch with their body. Bobby Ross knows that Moore catches with his hands. When you got one dislocated, it's tough.
Well, he catches with his elbows off his ribs, too. His elbows are always away from the body.
3rd and 13. That one whistles over the head of Moore at the 2-yard line. Mitchell has to peel himself off the carpet. And the Lions will try for 3 with 3:52 to play in the 3rd.
Barry Sanders looked at that pass and just started jogging for the sideline. He's saying, "What are we doing?" Here's a guy. To get his driver's license, Kevin, he flunked his driver's test 30 times. How can a guy be that 30 times he flunked his driver's test? How can a guy be that good and not get his driver's test?
He's faster than a car. Doesn't need a car. 38-yard field goal. The last one was missed by Hansen, and he misses this one. He had gone 24 consecutive kicks without a miss. He had not missed since opening day. Today he has missed 2. Low snap, and the problems continue for the Lions. So the Lions have missed 2 field goals, had a pass in the end zone dropped. And the Vikings have it 1st and 10. Robert Smith charging to the 34 before he is brought down by Mike Wells. Just a postscript on that missed kick, which was from 38 yards away by Jason Hansen. Jerry, inside 40 yards, he is 99 of 103.
Wow.
He's missed 2 kicks today, 1 from 50.
He's practicing some now.
And 1 from 38, but there was a bad snap, and it didn't look like that ball was rotated nor placed by Jet the right way. And, of course, they missed 2 extra points last week with the bad snap and a muff hold. 2nd down and 3. Palmer breaking tackles, weaving free. He's to the 45. Scroggins got him from behind. That Palmer is a nice little weapon to have in your offense.
Yeah, he always comes around. We've seen him beat Chicago much with the same plays, running out of that slot position. Here I think the Lions are watching the end of this play. He's still running when the Lions quit chasing. The play, you got to go to the plays over, and I did not see that on that play at all. The Lions are assuming somebody else is going to tackle them, and they're not coming over and gang tackle.
1st down and 10. Smith grabbed and ridden down. Not a lot of room up there. And Mike Wells out of Iowa, a guy who was a former Viking 4th-round draft choice, makes the stop for the Lion defense.
And you've called his name a lot today. Mike Wells always plays the run, excellent inside. They take him out in a pass down. That's why he's leaving now. But 95, Wells always is a pleasure to watch in the run. Look at him just hold. He took both gaps. He just totally threw away Everett Lindsey, the guy with 2 last names, just threw him off.
Taking the place of Henry Thomas. May have been a busted play, but Cunningham holds on to it and throws to Jake Reed. That second long play is incomplete down the sideline. He may have faked 2 handoffs on the play.
Well, he faked that reverse back to Palmer. And then it was going to bootleg off a fake reverse. It's going to come. Watch, he's going to fake a reverse and then come out that side. There's the fake reverse. Unfortunately, when they got done with this, He only had one receiver left to throw, and he ran out of bounds, and that was Jake Reed.
And he was on the short side of the field.
Right. They just ran out of real estate.
3rd and 9. Vikings
Blitz.
missed their last 5 third downs. Blitz is on. Picked up by Evans. From behind, it's a fumble. And the ball is loose. It appears the Vikings have jumped on it at the 31-yard line. But, Jerry, the blitz, when it has been used by the Lions, has paid big defensive dividends. It's their 2nd sack today.
They are getting all kinds of pluses out of this blitz. They're going to send defensive backs from the outside, and they're picked up by Charles Evans, but they just keep on working, and pretty soon the backside blitzer gets it. And that's a live ball. If the Lions can ever get to one of these and pick these up, and Bailey keeps coming from the backside, and that's Bailey, hits him and knocks the ball out of it.
Mitch Berger's punt. He's had a good day. Glenn Milburn inside the 30-yard line. Running into his own blocker. Breaks free. And will give the Lions great beginning field position at the 46. Nice return by Milburn of 16 yards after the 40-yard punt. Lions have the ball.
Absolutely their own worst enemy today.
On the 45, 1st and 10. Barry Sanders at 100 yards rushing, but is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on that call. 2nd down and 10.
And it's hard to believe, watching this entire game, that he has 100 yards. You just wonder where it all came. Mostly in that 160-yard run, I guess.
That'll do it. But what is interesting is he has 101 yards today. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Lions. What is interesting is the Vikings have let the Lions hang around.
They really have, and I think they're going to end up getting themselves in trouble. Now the Vikings are blitzing.
End around Johnny Morton. Moore will try to block, and Morton is thrown out of bounds, and no flag is thrown. Although it appeared as though he was in the chalk when that hit was made. It's a gain of 4, and Corey Fuller made the tackle.
Well, look at Oliver Dottie, his pants. He sat on the Gatorade bucket, and I just spilled my Gatorade. Look at that. He got knocked in the Gatorade. Johnny Morton, good speed, coming to the outside, and here's Oliver Dottie.
Oh, he's in the chalk.
He's in the chalk.
He's in the chalk.
And there's Oliver Dottie. He's in the Gatorade. That's what you call a wet behind. And I spilled my Gatorade up here.
Gives new meaning to having wet pants. 3rd down and 6.
Blitz.
Mitchell looks into the blitz and throws a pass, which is incomplete. It looked like there was some contact with Moore on the sideline. No penalty flag. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. It'll be 4th down. So we go to the 4th. With the Lions hanging around, yet trail quarter will be a Lion punt after they couldn't do anything with it. And they dropped the flags here.
Delay a game, I think. I think you look up at that scoreboard and you see the 4th quarter, and you think about all the weights you've been lifting.
False start by the offense, number 38. 5-yard penalty, it's still 4th down.
Now the 4th line, you got to bust your gut for 15 minutes to get yourself into play.
Palmer with the fair catch at the 23. 33-yard punt by John Jett. Next week, the Buccaneers play the Bears in Tampa. 1st and 10, Cunningham going deep and broken up, incomplete. Kevin Abrams was guarding Chris Carter. His rookie quarterbacks have held their own. Carter has been extremely quiet today.
And watch the ball by Randall Cunningham. What a great throw this is. Play action over the top. The ball's on the line. The ball's a frozen rope. And there's Kevin Abrams, who played pretty good last week in the 2nd half. He doesn't have good height, but he has excellent position in shutting down Chris Carter on that.
2nd down and 10. Fake by Cunningham, who loses his footing, breaks a tackle, then is whacked out of bounds at the 27. Reggie Brown makes the tackle after a gain of 4. Back to Hollywood, a McDonald's game break, and here's James Brown.
Jerry, Dallas about to be kept out of the playoffs for the first time since 1990. Boomer Esiason, 4 starts, 30-plus points in them. Hey, buddy, 32 yards to David Dunn, 31-10 all over the Cowboys. Bradshaw not feeling good. Back to Kevin and Jerry.
They've got Esiason in there. We've got Randall Cunningham here. A lot of Hostetler yesterday for the Redskins. A lot of old quarterbacks surfacing here late in the '97 season.
Well, Boomer not only surfaced, I think he made the Bengals one of the hottest teams at the end of the year the way he's playing. And that quarterback Blake going to have a hard time getting his job back.
Randall Cunningham burns his first time out of the second half with a slim back to Minneapolis with Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan. Vikings have not really done anything to lead us to believe that they want to capture it, and the Lions have had every opportunity in the world in this game, and they've almost blown every opportunity. So that's where we stand. Lions have been dominant in offense in this half with only 1 quarter gone. In the fourth, 3rd down and 6. Cunningham after the Viking timeout looks and throws almost into the stands, incomplete.
Well, it was a fake blitz run out, and that really confused Cunningham. Hadn't been playing for a couple of years, but watch the fake blitz. He'll get up in there, and then they run back off for his zone. There's occupy the guard and then run out for the zone coverage. That's Reggie Brown, and Cunningham could not figure that one out. And here's the hero of the day for the Vikings.
Mitch Berger, their punter.
Berger, you got to make the tackle.
Wobbly punt, returnable by Glenn Milburn from his own 32-yard line. Has a small seam, got a block, and is out past the 45 to the 46.
Wow, they hit Berger. Well, Berger took one in the mustache. Wow.
He lost the mustache. It's gone. 14-yard return after a 40-yard punt by Berger.
Whoa!
Field position today by the Lions, trailing 13-7 from the 46. 1st and 10. Barry Sanders. The 48 picks up a couple. Jerry Ball brings him down, setting up 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Lions in the second half today, punting, missing a field goal. That was from 38 yards. Lost it on downs. Drop touchdown pass on their first second half possession. It's been a day of miscues for the Lions in what arguably is their biggest game of the year. 2nd down and 9. Sanders again stuffed and eaten alive at the 43.
Well, the penetration, it was a counter play which takes time. And Tommy Vardell took off like a rocket. This is Tommy. He's going to come get his block. And he's waiting for Barry to come in behind him. But it's the counter this way and then that way. And Jeff Hardings could not hold his block long enough for the counter. And the Vikings swarm it.
Well, he was over 100. Now he is at 98. 3rd down and 12 for Mitchell. Pocket crumbling. Sacked by John Randall at the 39. Dwayne Rudd got a hand on him as well. Mitchell eats the ball. The Vikings defense holds. The Lions have got to punt the ball away.
Well, they got Randall at the defensive end, so the blitz leaves him one-on-one. And he's one-on-one with Ray Roberts, and he picked Ray Roberts up and took Ray Roberts back into the backfield and helped cause that sack.
Palmer retrieves the John Jett punt. Squirms to the 35. Vikings will get it back there. 34-yard punt. John Randall went 4 games without a sack. Today he's got 2, and the Vikings lead it for the Minnesota Vikings. 24 total yards. Handoff up the middle. Charles Evans with little room to go, but somehow carves out 4.5 to 5, and he is near the 40-yard line. You've always liked Evans.
You know, and I like Leroy Horde. They have some good backs, and of course Robert Smith. The only problem when you give the ball to Evans or Horde, that means Smith doesn't have it. And I think because of Smith's injury background and the fact that he doesn't stay healthy is why they run these. And there's Horde. Horde's is a heavyweight runner, a mutter, a type of guy that just brings the full thing right at you.
2nd down and 6, shy of the 40-yard line.
Blitz.
Oh, what a hit put on tight end Andrew Glover by Ron Rice. He drilled him.
Ron Rice is the guy we talked about in the open. A safety that free agent. Played at Eastern Michigan University. Watch the hit. Good stick. Guy that likes the physical contact. Played in Detroit at the University of Detroit High School.
Then went on to Eastern Michigan.
Signed as a free agent, got cut, was brought back. Big time hitter in the secondary for the Lions. 4 wide receivers in the game.
They're down in 6, and there go the penalty flags.
Luther Ellis pointing at everybody but himself. Luther's been quiet today.
Very quiet. This Palmer in motion looping around the quarterback. It almost looks like an Arena League play. You know, the Arena League, I can kind of get your momentum, go back 10 yards, and run right at the line of scrimmage.
You're not allowed to be going forward, however, in this league before the snap.
Before the false start, or the false start by the offense, there was a delay of game. Therefore, the delay of game takes precedent. It happened first. 5-yard penalty, it's still 3rd down.
Explain. My friend folks was in the hospital last night because of some food poisoning. He look hale and hearty today.
Well, I think you're the one that snuck that bad sandwich on me.
3rd and 11. He's got to get to the 46. The Lions converge and they stop Cunningham at the 44. So the Lions come up with a huge defensive play. It's a gain of 8. Shane Bonham and Mark Carrier do the job for the Lions, who've had some pretty big defensive plays today.
It's hard to earn a living having to tackle this guy in the open field. Watch Mark Carrier come up. I think I saw, we just mentioned Luther. I think Big Luther gets in on it. And a good job of getting him down, because he's just 2 yards shy of that 1st down. Big play for the Lions defense.
Busy day for Berger. 3rd consecutive punt.
I think after that last punt coverage, I can't imagine him going in as this time he's not chasing. He learned his lesson.
But he got it inside the 20, and let's see where they mark him. Referee still working up that sideline, and they put him down at the 9-yard line. So the Lions will have their hands full after the 48-yard punt by Berger. It's still Minnesota 13-7. The clock is working against the Lions. 1st and 10. Play action right on the money to Johnny Morton. Run out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
Well, that is a long throw for a short gain. They're over on the far hash. So this hash, they're going to throw the ball all the way over there. And he had to gun it to get it in there.
Morton picks up 7 on that play. 5 catches and 73 yards. 2nd down and 3. Oh, and he trips, and there's a fumble on the play at the 10-yard line. And it looks like the Lions have fallen out.
I think the center got pushed right into the quarterback's legs. I think Glover, there was a offensive lineman for Detroit that went right up the back of the legs of Scott Mitchell.
Sanders recovered the loose ball. You've talked all day how Mitchell's got to lean just to get the ball to Sanders.
Let's see who pushes into Mitchell. Oh, there is not Jerry Ball shoved Glover all the way into the feet of Scott Mitchell. And like I told you earlier, he runs so hard and fast to try to get it to him, they just call a timeout.
It's 3rd and 8.
That's their first
and the Detroit Lions have burned their first second-half timeout. Big down tries. Mitchell. His lineman pushed back into him. He dumps it off underneath the Sanders, who's got to get to the 20-yard line, and he spins for a 1st down. It's a big play, and Sanders picks it up on 3rd and 8. Sanders picks up 9.
The Vikings went 4-on-2, doubled all the wideouts, and let one man take the tight end. They got 2 out here and 2 out here, and look who sneaks through. Now he's nowhere near the 1st down. Great acceleration. Gets the 1st down on his own.
1st and 10. Sanders breaking free, keeping his balance. Being chased and angling is Torian Gray, who then rides him out of bounds. But there's the big breaker again, 34 yards. And the Lions are back in business.
Just when you think the Lions are about ready to hang it up, watch one guy bring him back. He just cuts back against the grain.
"13 consecutive games, Barry Sanders has gained 100 yards or more. First and 10. Mitchell to Morton. Cuts inside. Washington lassos him after a gain of 9. He's down near the 38-yard line.
And again, he's throwing from hash to wide out. He did that coming off the goal line. Watch where the ball is. He's on this hash, and he's going to gun it all the way to the out to Johnny Morton. Play action. And Morton cannot get away from Dwayne Washington.
Second down and 2 from the 38. It's Ron Rivers, Sanders' backup, who coming into today was averaging over 6 yards a carry. He gains a yard, setting up 3rd and 1.
Well, Ron comes in every time Barry breaks the long one. And now Barry will come back in, got a little oxygen.
Eye on the clock right there, under 8 minutes now to play.
3rd and very short.
And they brought in some heavy-duty trucks with Schlesinger and Vardell. 3rd and 1, 7th play of the drive. Vardell by the Schlesinger block. And he is stood up and brought down and loses a yard on the play.
Another long run by Barry Sanders. Wasted.
4th down and 2.5. And what do you do if you're Bobby Ross?
Bobby Ross is going for it.
Would you?
I think so. You got this yardage. You're in here. If you don't get it, you haven't given up that bad a field position. Sooner or later, this has got to turn into 14 if you're going to win the thing.
4th down and a long one. They've got to get inside the 36-yard line. 4-man rush. The catch is made by Herman Moore. Another first down. 35-yard line, working on cornerback Dwayne Washington.
Well, excellent catch by Herman Moore, because Scott Mitchell threw a dirt ball. This is right off the shoe tops. And Herman Moore goes down and digs it out. It's a 3-step drop. What a nice catch. Went to both knees, went on both knees to make that catch, knowing you're going to take a licking from behind when you make a play like that. Nice job.
Ward's got that bad foot and that bad hand. 1st and 10 from the 35. Trailing by 6. Mitchell to Sanders. Sanders inside the 31 and to the 30. Wayne Rudd brings him down.
That's the first time we've seen that formation. 2 tight ends next to each other with 2 backs in the backfield. So this is brand new. Sit up on the living room couch. Take a look. We got 2 backs with a pair, and they run the counter back to the split inside with Mike Compton doing the pulling. And they break him a little bit.
They got them on the left side, and Sanders runs to the right.
Yeah, see, they were telling everybody we're going the other way, and they ran the counter way with Mike Compton pulling. Good job by Detroit. A little change-up. Here's an audible. Quarterback changing the play.
2nd and 4. Lunging a handoff. Mitchell to Sanders, and he gets maybe a yard. Maybe.
And you called it. Watch this quarterback lunge. That's a good word you use there. To try to get in the... I've never seen a quarterback run this hard to try to get a handoff with the ball stretched out that long. And what does Barry do? He tries to bring it back from where the quarterback came from.
Here's another big 3rd down play for Mitchell. 3rd and 5. Clock under 5 minutes to play. They're bringing everybody. The blitz is on. Mitchell throws. It's incomplete. Dwayne Rudd. They're blowing the ball dead. He can run from here to
San Diego.
Well, I was thinking of another city in Minneapolis, but it's not going to be.
Well, rookie Dwayne Rudd's first start. Rookie from Alabama. And what do they do with Dwayne? They're blitzing him a little bit. 57's their first pick out of Alabama, and he comes in. Well, that's a bust. You cannot let somebody come in the A gap when your quarterback's under the center. And the guard's got to block down, or the back's got to pick it up.
His knee looked down when he tried to throw that pass. So the question now is, was it an incomplete? Does it go back to the line of scrimmage, or was it a sack? Was his knee down as he was trying to throw the ball?
Let's take a real good look, see where his knee is when he's throwing the ball. The ball did go forward, so that's not in question.
Watch the knee.
The ruling stands. Incomplete pass.
Knees down.
The quarterback's knee was not down. It is fourth down.
Both knees are down. Not one knee, both knees.
That changes things a lot. From what would have been fourth down and maybe 15,
right,
to now 4th and 5.
Let's see if we get a good look here.
Knees down.
Knees down.
So it's 4th and 5.
Split backfield this time.
Sanders is in. Mitchell hit, sacked again. The 3rd time today, back at the 40.
The right tackle for Detroit, Larry Tharp, got beat instantly. The quarterback had no chance. And what are they doing with 93 today, Kevin? They're moving him everywhere. Playing him at end, playing him at tackle. Here he is at the end on this side. Hadn't seen John Randall play in before, but what it does, it takes away the double team. Ray Roberts.
5th time in 6 years under Denny Green. 1st and 10 from the 40, so they get off and downs. And here's Robert Smith breaking a tackle, plunging ahead, and he's out to the 44.
And Detroit came after him. Safety blitz. Watch Mark Carrier. Watch the safety blitz. Going to come from the top of your screen. Here comes the safety. Trying to blow this play up. Stephen Boyd running over, not being able to hang on the tackle.
Vikings have 2 timeouts. Lions have 2 timeouts. 2nd down, 6 from the Viking 44.
Safety blitz.
Rice coming in and slowed up Robert Smith just enough that Smith was knocked off balance and held to a meager gain of 2 to the 47.
He didn't get a good hit on him. This is Rice. He's going to come right through the guard tackle gap, but he does get a hand on him. He didn't get a good hit. He just gets his right hand on him and sort of jerks him, pulls him off his feet. So now Detroit with the time. 3 minutes. They're blitzing every down now. Here's 3rd down. See if they come again against 3 wideouts.
And David Palmer in the backfield. 3rd down and 5. Hatchett is in motion. Cunningham has missed his last 5 passes. Make it 6. Great coverage by linebacker Reggie Brown on the elusive David Palmer. No flags. 4th down. Vikings have got a punt, and the Lions are still alive.
Well, for you people in Detroit, they blitzed again, so they went 3 all-out blitzes, and Minnesota did a good job here picking the blitz up, but it left Reggie Brown alone with no help on Palmer. One thing Reggie can do, he can run. He can run a 4.5 40 himself.
3rd consecutive 3-and-out for the Minnesota Vikings. Berger.
I thought they were going to try to block the punt there.
They'll punt. Milburn back at the 13-yard line. And he finds a little space to the 27.
Well, I think you get your team and you say, guess what, guys? We got 3 minutes to become somebody.
And 2 timeouts.
And 2 timeouts. All we got to do is put all the work that we did all year is wrapped up into 3 minutes.
On the 27, 1st down and 10 yards to go. Mitchell right to work and going deep, and he overshoots Johnny Morton by a good 5 to 7 yards, who was covered on the play by Torian Gray. 2nd down and 10.
I don't know where he threw that one, Kev. John Randall, they did double team him because he's still playing that right end, so they're not leaving Ray Roberts on him alone. Watch the back come in. They lift the tight end and the back, so now they got 3 people on. They got Barry Sanders, got David Sloan, got Ray Roberts all trying to block it. So at least they're making that adjustment upstairs in the press box.
Good point. 2nd down and 10. Pressure, and it's picked off. Intercepted on the play by Ed McDaniel. Still on his feet inside the 25 into the Lions 20. And that interception may seal a playoff bid for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, it looked up like the play we showed earlier from years past when Brady almost made that same interception to beat the Lions. The middle linebacker, Ed McDaniel, watch him buzz out to the right. And if he didn't intercept it, Rudd had it. Either linebacker would have picked it off, Kevin.
McDaniel playing the middle linebacker because Jeff Brady is injured and out. That is the first interception in 22 quarters and 176 pass attempts for the Viking defense going back to November against the Chicago Bears in this building. It's 1st and 10 outside the 20. Robert Smith brought down on the play. Stephen Boyd. He's in double figures in tackles today.
Well, Robert Smith's job now is not to fumble. Smith's
game over 100 yards, and he had to average about 135 this game and next week to be at 2,000. So he's right on track. 3rd and 5. Hand off to Evans. No place to run, no place to hide. Swallowed in the middle by Luther Ellis, 94. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. Vikings 2 minutes away from the playoffs. The Lions on their knees praying.
Barry Sanders is not getting any points out of it. Big field goal here.
Former Lion Eddie Murray. Snap was high from 38 yards away. No good.
No good. Woo!
No good.
There's life in Detroit City.
There's barely a heartbeat. There is no longer margin for error, but the Lions are still in business on a missed 38-yard field goal by Eddie Murray.
And Eddie Murray not used to missing in this close either. Woo. Thought Bobby would jump around a little bit on that. Not much emotion there. He's looking for a new button. Push that button. That means he's switching over to the offensive phone. He was on the defensive phone. Well, Detroit, it's in your hands. You got 1:56 and 1 timeout.
On the 27, 1st down and 10 yards to go. Mitchell clamped, throws, should be enough for a 1st down. Pass was caught by Tommy Boyd. His 2nd catch today. It's a gain of 12. And indeed, a Mitchell strike with the 1st down.
Well, Mitchell got in trouble there because Ray Roberts cannot block John Randall by himself. And John Randall, here he comes.
Mitchell again underneath Barry Sanders with a 46. 2nd and 4 upcoming with a minute and a half to play in the 4th.
I think Detroit has to put the tight end to Mitchell's left, which you're not doing because John Randall is putting the clinic on. This is John Randall. And it's all out blitz.
2nd down 4. The pass out of range for Tommy Boyd.
Low.
Incomplete. Clock stopped. 1:16. Lions have 1 timeout with which to work.
Jerry Ball is mad because the crowd won't get hollered. Jerry Ball wants a little help from the stadium. Come on, stadium, help us out. There, get him going, Jerry. Jerry's an old Detroit Lion. Now, you shouldn't pay a guy that kind of money just to get the crowd to holler.
3rd down and 4 from the 46. Sanders, the lone running back. Mitchell caught. Morton, should be enough for a 1st down. It is.
Nice job.
Into Viking territory. He worked on cornerback Dwayne Washington.
I thought they would have called the timeout there, but they're saving it.
Under a minute to play. A timeout remaining. Here comes Mitchell again. Underneath, caught by Sanders, sliding head first to the 41, picks up 8. Ed McDaniel the tackle. Field goal is no good, obviously. Trailing 13-7. 2nd down and 2. 46 seconds to play in the game. Mitchell to the sideline, caught by Morton, and is he out of bounds?
No, he did
not get out of bounds.
They're in trouble now.
He got the 1st down. He's at the 32, and finally they burn their final timeout with 27 seconds to play.
And he was trying hard to get out of bounds. That was not his fault.
8 seconds to play. 1st down, 10 yards to go from the Minnesota 32. Mitchell, great time, throws deep. What a catch made! It's caught. Herman Moore. 20-yard gain at the 12. Chains move. There's no timeout, so Mitchell's going to want to spike the ball.
And Mitchell did a great job. Almost got sacked that time by John Randall.
And they spike it, and we're down to 10 seconds, which, Jerry, means what? 2 plays into the end zone?
2 plays, but the ball's got to land in the end zone. Cannot land anywhere else. Nice catch by Herman Moore. In the slot, someplace he didn't play until this year. He loves this scene. How can he turn him loose? Good catch and hangs out.
Gutty performance, bad foot, dislocated finger, playing a great game.
This ball, Kevin, has to end up in the end zone, and the Vikings are blitzing.
They spike the ball, so it's 2nd down and 10.
All out blitz.
Mitchell to the end zone for Morton. It's bobbled. And a flag thrown, and it's on Dwayne Washington. 1st and goal to go. Detroit Lions. 6 seconds to play and no timeouts.
I thought they could have even called it on Detroit, so let's see which guy they're calling on. It is on Minnesota. Good jam at the line by Dwayne Washington.
Pass interference by the defense, number 20, in the end zone.
That's a tough call.
The ball's placed on the 1-yard line. 1st down.
Oh, I see. He had his hand on him. He had his left hand right on the top of his elbow.
The ball is at the 1.
I know who gets the ball.
Remember the goal line stand by the Vikings earlier in the game.
Watch Herman Moore, just like against Miami.
1st and goal at the 1. Mitchell throwing. Moore, touchdown. We're tied at 13.
Well, you know where the ball's going, and they leave Corey Fuller all alone.
100th catch of the season for Herman Moore, the #1 receiver in the NFL. That has tied the game. 3 seconds remaining.
What a courageous play. Look at him limping. That was Kent Fobb, the trainer he just walked up to, limping. And Dennis Green's in shock.
But the Lions are not out of the woods yet. Remember the 2 bad extra points last week in Miami.
Bad snap this week.
Bad snap this week. Simple to snap to Jet. Hansen for the extra point. High snap. Kick is up. The Lions have the lead. 14-13. An incredible, improbable, unexplainable comeback by the Detroit Lions and coach Bobby Ross as they lead it with 3 seconds remaining.
And have only led it at this point of the game. And they fell asleep, but they just kept on playing. Man. It's a 3-step, quick hitch. Make Moore a jump ball. He's on Dwayne Washington. We knew where the ball was going, and Dwayne Washington knew where the ball was going, but it didn't matter.
In a game with the most severe playoff implications of any game in the NFL today, the Vikings with the possible win, clinching a playoff slot. The Lions and coach Bobby Ross
finally some emotion
with the win, live for another week. And yes, Detroit, there is a Santa Claus. And there are 2 of his elves right there, Mitchell and Moore. A 9-play, 72-yard drive. Mitchell on the drive, an incredible 7 of 9 for 61 yards. They took over at the 28 with 1:56 left in regulation.
Well, Herman Moore made a great catch, but that guy there had to put the throw up. Scott Mitchell had to put the throw up high and turn it into the old alley-oop jump ball, and he put the pass, and we all knew where it was going, but he put it there. Dwayne Washington was left out there, the Lone Ranger. And this ball is going to be on the ground. You got to squib kick this thing. And Minnesota has to keep this ball alive. So watch for a lot of pitches and a lot of laterals. This thing's got to look like a scrum. This has got to be a rugby play for the Vikings. And Detroit's got to get it on the ground. One thing that quarterback just did, he won the heart of every offensive lineman for the Detroit Lions.
Jerry, they showed such great heart last week in Miami, almost came back and beat the Dolphins, and in a game which had a life or death type of feel for your season attached to it, they came back from behind in what has been a game of missed opportunities. Kickoff return of 79 yards, foiled because of a holding penalty. 2 missed field goals, 1 from 50, 1 from 38, and then a dropped touchdown pass by Johnny Morton on the first series of the second half.
Now, one thing, if you're the Detroit Lion coach here, Kevin, you have 2 safeties in this. Don't cover with 11. Keep 2 people back in case they do a lot of lateral.
Hansen on the ground, no surprise here.
There's the twin safeties for Detroit.
It's Palmer to a knee, so he downs it with 2 seconds left at the 18-yard line. Smart move.
He did that. I think I just soon let Palmer try to win it, though, is win it here from 80 yards away.
But the coverage for the Lions, Jerry, was right on top of him. You just wonder how much breathing space he would have had he gotten up and been whacked, and then he's really out of luck.
Now ball up 80 yards. He can throw it 80 yards.
Well, but you know what? He probably can. If anybody can, it's Randall Cunningham.
If he does, we'll have to throw him back his arm. Look at Detroit's secondary, Kevin. They're back on the 30.
Final play of the game, and it's thrown, batted down, no time. The Lions have come back to win it. The final score from Minneapolis, the Detroit Lions 14, the Minnesota Vikings 13. Our Energizer play of the game, this winning touchdown pass or game-tying touchdown pass to Herman Moore.
3-step quick throw, high ball, nice job not only by Moore, but by Scott Mitchell. No way you could get to the quarterback. It was 1-2 throw.
Stunned silence inside the dome. Bobby Ross will live to tell about this one. The Lions are